My name is John Pasqua. The date today is December 6th, 2024. The class is Workforce Education 106. This is assignment number 5, Safety Education Presentation. All right, so now we're going to talk about personal protective equipment, what I like to call the big three. The big three in PPE: eye protection, head protection, hand protection, safety glasses, hard hats, and gloves. So we're about to start doing work in the workshop, this being your orientation class. This will be your first time in the workshop, and we have some specific rules out there. And one of them is that you must have your PPE on at all times while you're in the workshop. And the big three, along with others, are hard hat, gloves, and glasses. So let's talk for a minute about why you need these. OSHA standards. OSHA standards say you need these. OSHA standard, let's start with the first one. OSHA standard on personal protective equipment. 29 CFR 1926.95. Personal protective equipment, including protection for eyes, face, head, shall be provided and maintained in a sanitary and reliable condition, and need to be used whenever there is an exposure to a hazard. When it comes to the employee having their own equipment, it must be maintained properly and meet the standards of OSHA and ANSI. So all personal equipment, also known as PPE, is designed for the type of work that it's going to be trying to protect yourself. Whatever hazards there are out there, that personal protective equipment must be designed to protect yourself from those hazards. So the employer has the responsibility to supply the PPE. You have the responsibility to maintain it, take care of it. If you intentionally damage it, you intentionally lose it, you're responsible to replace it. So the employer has a responsibility, you also have a responsibility. So let's look at this first one here, ANSI standard Z87.1, Z87.1, eye protection. Eye and face protection devices, including safety glasses, goggles, face shield, must be impact resistant. The standard requires that the safety glasses have a permanent mark on them to actually show that they're meeting the ANSI standard. It may have a stamp on the glasses themselves, or it might be on the frame with a stamp that says Z87. That means they're compliant with the ANSI standard in relation to the OSHA standard. Now, some of you wear prescription glasses, and that's not a problem as long as your prescription glasses meet the Z87 standard. Some of you have those. If you don't, then you have to wear goggles over your prescription glasses. All right, next, 29 CFR 1910.135 and ANSI Z89. This is in regards to head protection. Hard hats, that's what we're talking about, hard hats. The standard states that when employees are working in areas that there is a possibility of head injury from impact or from falling or flying objects or from electrical shock and burns, it shall be protected by a protective helmet, what we refer to as hard hats. This type of hard hat is referred to the Z89 standard with ANSI. ANSI establishes the guidelines for the hard hat design, how it must perform during testing. It's certified to resist impacts, penetration, or if it's a special hard hat, it may be made to resist electrical shock. So moving on to the OSHA standard 1910-138, protective gloves. We're working with sharp objects out there. You're going to need to be protected from those also. OSHA standard says that the employers are required to select and supply the employees with the appropriate hand protection, such as gloves, when their hands are exposed to hazards. The hazards that we'll be exposed to mostly out there in the shop is sharp objects. When your hands are exposed to hazards like cuts, abrasions, punctures, chemical or extreme temperatures on a construction site, the employer must supply hand protection. And the type of hand protection depends on the type of hazards. It has to be suitable for the hazard. So in our shop, we'll be wearing cut level 3. Cut level 3 gloves. Cut level 3 gloves. The responsibility to supply these gloves are the responsibility of your employer, but it's your responsibility to take care of them. If you receive a pair of gloves from your employer and you leave them at home, that means you're not taking care of your equipment. Not the employer's responsibility to give you a new pair of gloves every day just because you can't take care of them. So the big three personal protective equipment, hard hat, glasses, and gloves must be worn in the shop, in the workshop at all times. We have a zero tolerance policy. If you're unable, unwilling, choose not to, then you're not allowed to work in the shop. And if you can't work in the workshop, then you're not going to be able to get a grade for the class. So really simple. This might seem too simple for you, but I'm going to demonstrate how to put these pieces of equipment on. Start off with a hard hat. Grab your hard hat in the morning right before you start. Just check it and make sure it hasn't been damaged. No cracks. This is a good shape. Hard hat is on. All right. C87 approved safety glasses. These are a little worn out. Might be time for a new pair. Got a few scratches on them, but I believe they're going to make it for a few more weeks. There's the glasses and the gloves. So if the gloves are in your pocket, that's not proper use of gloves. Putting the gloves on, very simple. I know everyone's worn gloves at one time or another in their life. There you go. Big three. Hard hat, glasses, gloves. Now you also have to have work boots. You know that already. Work pants. Shirt, must have sleeves. Those are your basic PPE. And like I said before, zero tolerance. If you're unable or unwilling to wear the PPE in the shop, then you will not be allowed to work out there. So, one last time, big three in PPE. Hard hat, glasses, and gloves. Must be worn at all times in the shop. And that, I believe, is all there needs to be said about it. If there are any questions afterward, I will take questions. At this point, I'm going to have each one of you show me that you can actually put on a hard hat, put your gloves on, and put your glasses on. Pass or fail. If you can't do that, then you might be in the wrong place, unfortunately, but you might have to evaluate whether or not you're in the right place if you're not going to be able to wear a hard hat, because this is one of those careers where you're going to need that hard hat every day. So there you go. All right, let's have a good one.